following Jesus is not just adopting Jesus' lifestyle, but it's being conformed to the image of Jesus Christ. And notice it's about being conformed, not conforming, because there's this big difference, or subtle difference, but yet it's a huge implication between the two. And it's subtle, but it is different. So conforming is something that is done by you. You can conform to somebody, you can copy somebody, but being conformed is something that is done to you. And so that's why it's so important. Paul mentions that God is doing the shaping. It's about putting myself with opportunities for God to shape me, for God to shape you. So that's why small groups are so important. That's why spending time with other Christians is so important. That's why service is opportunities for people to grow in their faith, because they're putting themselves in a place for God to shape us.
It's not a formula, it's a journey. And that's about focusing on the things that Jesus focused on versus this kind of formulaic approach to faith. And over the years, especially in my younger years as a young Christian man, there were so many different times that I was introduced to a formula. This is what it means to have a spiritual life. Here's what you do in the morning, here's what you do in the afternoon, here's what you do at night, and there's all these things that you do, and when you do them, and how you do them, and how long you do them, and so forth. And I always had this kind of guilt because I could never carry through with these formulas. You see, the idea of a formula is this is the way that you do it, this is the way that everybody does it, and it wouldn't work for everybody. It'll work for some, it won't work for others. And it's not about a formula, it's about a journey, walking with Christ. Our spiritual life is an individual thing, an individual activity, and it's a team sport. As an individual, it's my responsibility, it's your responsibility to develop your relationship with Jesus, to learn from him, to follow him, to serve him. And as I do that, I'm being conformed, right? So this work is happening in me. But Jesus then called us not just into a relationship with him, but into a relationship with others who are following him as well, into these gatherings that we now call the church. And when we are gathered with other Christ followers, we bring our faith, we bring our gifts, we bring our service into that community, and others are blessed by my faith, my gifts, and my service. And here's the thing, I am blessed by theirs. I'm blessed by their faith, by your faith. I'm blessed by your gifts, by your service.
And that this spiritual life is it's not an individual activity. It's an individual activity, and it's a team sport. That God is growing me, God's growing us together in God, and God is blessing the world through us.